The question I have is about biosecurity. There was a report that the department commissioned last year, I think, that said as a country we're ill prepared to handle these animal diseases in time. So just an update of where we are in terms of implementing the recommendation to ensure strengthen biosecurity in the country.
Yes, thanks. Yeah, we since the report which we've commissioned, well, it didn't tell us what we didn't already know. We knew that with the number of farmers increasing, we were likely going to end up where we ended because some people cut corners. I'll tell you the simple thing with biosecurity is if all farmers did what they're supposed to do, if you go into a poultry house, there's a food bath, you wash, change clothes, you wouldn't have one poultry house infecting the other. If farmers who are buying cattle from the auctions knew that they cannot use the same truck to transport the cattle. So biosecurity issues are what we already know. But your question is what's happening since the report? What are we implementing the recommendations? Of course we are. We have, for instance, started a process of, for the first time in the history of this country, we're going to restrict movement of chickens, which was something that unheard of. Because we've realized that during outbreaks, some farmers just get carried away and they move chickens when they're not supposed to move. Similarly with the cattle, as you know, the outbreak that started in Limpopo started as a result of farmers being reckless. So we're clamping down on those recklessness, and there are cameras already, if you go to Limpopo, that are detecting movement, illegal movement that is of livestock from areas that normally this happens during the night because farmers know that they're doing something wrong. So we've got cameras, and that's something that we're going to be rolling out this year is to have cameras from the major farming areas and the major routes. We'll be able to see movement of cattle before they move, especially if you look at FMD, food and mouth disease, we know which areas are risky, and we've got measures, we've got the red zone, and we've got the red line. We know if farmers can just observe those restrictions and those guidelines, we shouldn't have a lot of disease outbreaks.
Is it for now, the restriction of movement, is it for now that we have these problems, or is something that's going to be a permanent thing?
The movement of cattle is permanent, it's been there. So the areas around Limpopo and Mpumalanga, there are areas where we restrict movement of cattle from one area, from one part to the other. That's what has been there all the time. That's why you see farmers being reckless and moving cattle from those areas to areas where we shouldn't have foot and mouth disease. Areas around Mkanyaku within the KZN area, we also are restricting movement unless under strict supervision. So that is permanent. But for chickens, we're going to start with the start, and it's not going to be once off. All chicken movement will be per approval and under supervision to ensure that we don't spread unnecessarily things that we could have prevented.
Thank you so much. Do you have anything?
No.